there! Imagine you have to study in a room full of smoke. Imagine you have your lunch outside and still inhale some smoke. See, all of that seems usual because almost every day, everywhere, and every moment we see a lot of people smoking. My name is Siti Halim, and today I would like to talk about my opinion about smoking in a campus area. According to data from the 123 Indonesian Health Survey conducted by Ministry of Health, Kemenkes, it is estimated that there are 17 million active smokers with 7.4% of whom are aged 10 till 18 years old. With such a large number, it is only natural that many places enforce no smoking policies. Almost all campuses in Indonesia enforce these rules, including my campus, BINA SARANA Informatika University. The rules are clearly written, making it indisputable. Now, let's talk about my opinion about this topic. The no smoking policy on campus is an agreement that takes many factors into consideration, such as the risk of disease, the quality of learning, and discipline. As someone who grew up in smoke-free family, I absolutely agree with this rule. I always found it hard to breathe when I inhale some cigarette smoke. So, being in a smoke-free learning environment is a joy in itself. In conclusion, smoking is not a good thing in any way, as it only harms yourself and others. And if you disagree with me, please pay attention to where you are. Check whether smoking is permitted there and be mindful of those around you. It's best to move to a quiet place if you want to smoke, to avoid impacting others. That's all I can say here. Thank you for listening to my opinion. And let's move to another part. Hello! Glad to see you again. Right now, we will learn about another type of adverb. Adverb of frequency. Do you know what this adverb talk about? Well, adverb of frequency describe how often an action happens. Okay, let me give you some example. I have a breakfast every day. I go to campus twice a week. I rarely got sick. See, all of that describe how often I do the action. Alright, let's move. There's two types of this adverb. The first one is definite. This type gives an exact indication of how often an activity occurs. For example, we use every for every day, every week, every moment, and each other. I have a breakfast every day. I go to swimming every week. My period came every month. We can use once for once a week, once a month. For example, I visit my grandparents once a week. We can use twice for twice a week, twice a month. I go to campus twice a week. We can even use hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, even yearly or annually. The second type is indefinite. This type gives an idea of how often an activity occurs. An easy way to remember the meaning of frequency adverbs is to match them with percentages. How often do you do something? When talking about frequency, 100% means you do something all the time. 0% means you don't ever do it. What's that percentages mean? Okay, let's get into it. The first one is always. That means done every time, routinely. Second one is almost always. Very close to routine, but not quite every time. Next one is usually or often, most of the time, or many times. Next, sometimes means some of the time. Seldom, infrequently, more formal, and more often found in writing. Next one is rarely, once in a blue moon. Informally and more commonly used in conversation. Never means not at all. Next, we have sentence patterns. The patterns that common use in this type of adverbs. The first one is to be plus adverbs. For example, she is never late. The to be is the adverbs never. As you can see here, the adverbs follows to be. The second one is adverb plus verb. For example, we usually eat lunch in the cafeteria. The adverb usually and the verb eat. As you can see here, the adverbs comes before verb. We also have the patterns for positive sentences. Subject plus adverb plus verb. For example, I always go cycling on Sundays. Next one, I have the patterns for interrogative sentence. Do or does plus subject plus adverb plus verb. For example, do you always go to university by bus? The last one is negative sentence. Subject, don't or doesn't. Adverb plus verb. For example, I don't often watch TV. Next one, I have a few example for you to learn more about this adverb. But wait, before you leave, I have some quiet fun games for you to challenge yourself. The first game is say or write. In this game, we will unscramble the words. For example, goes, Jim, to, he, the, rarely. It's very scrambled, right? So we can unscramble it. He rarely goes to the gym. Now the next one is yours. You can the answer. You can just say it or write it on the comments below. Okay, here's the answer. So, how much point do you have? Okay, and the next game is which one first? We have 5 sentences with adverb of frequency in it. All you have to do is put them in the correct order from most often to least often. You can write it on comments below. Here's the answer. Okay, for the last game, we have answer correctly. We just have 2 questions here. You have to give your best answer. The first question, what must you remember about the form of the main verb when using the adverbs? Never and rarely. The second question, look at these sentences and tell me where the adverbs of frequency should go. Do you have your answer? Here's the answer. So, for these 3 games, how much points do you have? Okay, thank you for taking your time watching my video. Thank you for your attention.